Hello, and welcome back to Martlet Games. My name is Sarah, and this is episode 2 of London's Bleeding, a Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition chronicle set in 1918 London just after World War I. Please note this is a game for mature audiences. Before we begin, let's get reacquainted, starting with Walter.
My name is Ben Shelley, and I play Walter the Gangrel.
Hello, my name is Patrick Gill, and I play Rafe the Toreador.
Hello, my name is Samantha McLarty, and I play Lillian Crawford, the Ventru.
And I'm Stephen Rieger, and I play London's fifth favorite Malkavian, Tommy.
Thank you very much, and thanks everyone at home for joining us again this evening. I'm really looking forward to this. So, a coterie of vampires takes many forms. A patchwork family bent on revenge, an elite selection of the deadliest kindred agents, or a group of unhinged delinquents determined to suck every last drop of life out of their city. But some coteries form from coincidence, or even fate, rising from broken glass and blood on the cobblestone streets. It's still December 21st of 1918. The same cold, clear night as before surrounds Wetterman Hospital in London's Wapping neighborhood just south of Whitechapel. But through the men's ward, between the side entrance of the hospital and the morgue, in a common dirty side street, Tommy has spilled the blood of Dr. Aloysius Gray, head or former head of Wetterman Hospital. His body is lifeless, slumped against a wall, pale as snow, the crimson blood a shock against the equally lifeless gray stone below him. Tommy sliced him ear to ear after a brief bite and a not-so-subtle suggestion from the Ventru, Lillian Crawford, following a foiled plot by an unknown, hideous creature to murder the presumably good Dr. Gray. Tommy, what is your next move?
My next move, first, I am still going to be in Mask of a Thousand Faces.
And you had activated that, I do remember in the last session, so it's pretty much the same scene, so I won't require another rouse check for that.
Okay, thank you. Mm-hmm. Is there any trash around?
Any trash?
Like trash in the alleyway?
I mean, there's a dead body at your feet.
Yeah, I'm looking to cover up the dead body.
Oh, I see.
Right. There's nothing substantial. There's like some papers like kind of twisting in the wind. There's there's probably like a medium-sized like metal trash can that's probably like sitting up against like a small stone like tiny little curb almost. There's probably like one metal trash can there, but there's nothing like, a pallet or there's nothing large. It's all small types of trash besides just the trash can.
Oh, Tommy's just gonna. Okay, I'm gonna grab the body. I'm going back inside.
Wait a minute. Okay, so you are grabbing the body of Dr. Gray and
I'm going into the morgue.
Taking him inside the hospital. Oh, and you're going to the morgue.
Yes, because the morgue is right outside the door. Correct.
Correct. Yeah, it's right. It's right behind you in the alley. Now, you can approach the morgue, and it's a really like nondescript doorway. Like you wouldn't necessarily think that this is the morgue entrance. It really kind of just looks like a door on the street. You do notice, without any sort of roll, that there is a Latin phrase written above the morgue. You don't have any. Did you want to make any kind of roll potentially to see if you recognize it or?
Yeah, why not? Let's.
That would be intelligence and academics, I would say, if you would like to try.
I got a dot in academics. Why not?
Okay, yeah. Go for it.
That's a 3.
Wow. Okay. So you would recognize this Latin phrase. It's really not that complicated. It says "De mortuis nihil nisi bene," which means "of the dead say nothing but good."
You were a
So
I'm sure you were a wonderful doctor. As I
you're
drag
muttering
him in.
that to him.
Yeah.
So the morgue is locked. You don't. It's kept under lock and key. You can attempt to pick the lock if you would like.
I got a dot in larceny.
So that would give me, if you would like
thank you,
to pick
Jack of all trades.
right, and I would say just because of your predilections, you would have something at least rudimentary to pick the lock.
Gotcha.
So if you'll give me Dex and athletics, or sorry, not Dex and athletics, Dex and larceny, please.
Three.
Unfortunately,
Seven to 10.
Right. Unfortunately, you do not crack into the morgue. I'm sorry to say. Close, but not quite.
Going back outside.
All right. So you could not enter the morgue. The hospital at this point is still a flurry of activity. It's probably time-wise, I'd say it's probably pushing like 2:30 a.m., 3 a.m. at this point.
Okay.
Maybe slightly earlier. But the hospital is still pretty busy. Like all the beds are full, so there's constantly being patients attended to by the staff. So you are taking the doctor's body back through the men's ward.
No, back through that back door that I came in, because you said the morgue was right next to the exit. I'm going back. I'm going back out. Like I'm not going to continue through the men's ward. I'm going back outside.
Okay. So you're not entering the hospital. Sorry, I'm just trying to get a.
Yeah, I was going to try to enter the hospital to the morgue. Morgue is locked. We're going back outside.
Oh, okay. You didn't actually ever enter anywhere. Like the morgue door is outside.
Okay, yeah. So I'm still outside then. Okay.
Okay, all right. So where do you intend to go now?
Find a dark corner and prop them up.
Okay, there are the alleyways continue behind the hospital, so you could go in that direction. But if you go sort of like if you're running parallel to the front of the hospital, like that's going to be more chance of people seeing you.
Yeah,
so which way would you want to go?
Stay in the back alleyway. Yeah.
Okay, so you turn the corner and go into the back alleyway. There's no one there. There's no time to like stand around and take breaks and stuff. So there's nobody there from the hospital or otherwise.
Gotcha.
So what are you doing now with the body?
Prop them up and heading back in.
Okay, so you will prop up the body just basically on just a wall that's there behind, basically like on the back of the hospital essentially.
Yeah.
You'll just sit him there. So
I tried to find a nice comfortable place for him in the morgue, but
I'm sorry, it's hard to get into.
Didn't work out for me.
A dedicated morgue like that. I'm sorry to say. So you they found out about you, Tommy, and they're coming for you.
Oh no.
So okay, where are you going next?
I'm gonna go back through the door and I'm gonna head back to Rafe. I'm gonna change back into Tommy, and then I'm gonna.
So you're dropping Mask of 1,000 Faces
after I make it inside and kind of blend in a little bit.
Okay, now you have blood on you.
I guess I would have blood on me. I guess I'm not going in.
I'm just saying. I'm not
shit.
saying you don't go in, but I mean, you're in a hospital. It's not the worst thing.
Grab
I mean,
a gown.
I don't know. And again, there's still so much activity. It's kind of loud because there are delirious flu patients that are like crying out. There are, staff having heated conversations. So you're not like covered in blood. You've got like a few slashes. Like
Okay.
you've done this, like enough to not like get absolutely saturated.
Gotcha.
Okay, cool. So you're gonna go back up into the former Dr. Gray's office. Is that where you still are, Rafe?
Yes, I imagine that Rafe and Walter and Lillian, we would all be there still in the office.
Well, Lillian already got in the car.
Oh, that's
and
right.
is taking
yes.
Bess home.
Yes,
yeah.
That's right. Yes, correct.
Yeah.
So no, yeah, Rafe and Walter would, because Walter didn't want any part of making the good doctor no longer part of the living.
Right.
Frankly, I would have gone back to my post. So it's probably
that's actually what I thought.
Yeah,
I thought
okay.
you did go back to your post. So you're basically just back out in front of Wetterman Hospital, like by the front door, where you were doing.
It's been a long week, so yeah, pardon me for forgetting some details.
That's why I'm here. I've got it all covered. Don't worry.
No, I would probably be in the office still. I've got a notepad and a pencil out, and I'm trying to think of a plausible excuse to explain any strange sightings that might get rumored about in the area.
Okay.
I think it would be a good idea to maybe start insinuating that the Bloody Fists are responsible, and
sure.
If Rafe is going to be working towards an overall narrative in the area to help with any possible future masquerade violations, he's going to start seeding the Bloody Fists as the go-to culprit to explain any sudden unexplained violence or disappearings or any such nonsense. He's going to paint them as an opportunistic group of thugs trying to take advantage of the chaos of the flu.
Okay, cool. That's good. I would actually, for your thought processes and your writing it down, go ahead and give me, give me a intelligence and performance.
Okay, that works.
I know that's a big pool for you, but I just want to see how good your persuasive writing is here.
Yes, and I think I'm still at hunger 1, if I recall correctly. Yep. Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm just getting my dice here. Like you say, this is a big pool for me.
Yep.
All right. So and then. So I would get the extra bonus die for the writing specialty.
Sure. Yep.
Alright, make sure I don't have any other hunger die in here. Nope, we're good. Alright, here comes the thunder.
Yeah,
if I can
for real.
Pick them all up in my hands. Rolling with these nice aluminum level up dice. Shameless plug. No, bollocks. No. Oh, wait, no. Yes, here we go. No, that is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with the crit. Oh,
okay.
Yes. 7 with
Holy
the crit.
cow. All right, well, the sheer chaos of what happened in your experienced journalism experience, all your all the writing you've done, all the training you've had, your time with your editor, all of those lessons, and then the chaos was this perfect variable injection to make some of these like phrases and some of these descriptions that you're writing down as you're like postulating about the Bloody Fist, like this could be some of your best work, and it's going to really delight whose ever table you slide it across. So it's a real crackerjack. So you'll have that in your back pocket now. Great. So let's see. Walter, you are still on duty. You're at the front of the hospital. And as you are, did you want to do anything before I proceed as you're standing there?
No, we're just kind of waiting for the shift to end. So,
okay,
I mean,
perfect.
making sure nothing, like, I'm not proactively trying to do anything.
Sure. So you only have now at this point like 2 hours or less on your shift.
Sure.
So you're in the home stretch. So what happens is, out of the front door of the hospital, walking in a very listless sort of manner is Dr. Harvey Williamson, who has been flawlessly dominated by Lillian. And the memories that she implanted were perfect and indistinguishable. Where she told Dr. Williamson, who was in fact throttled by the mysterious, hideous creature, instead he had some sort of accident and a bookcase fell on him, and that is his full understanding. So he's not necessarily disoriented, but he is affected, and his eyes are sort of glassy. So he comes walking out, and he approaches you, and he sort of, kind of in an uncharacteristic way for this guy who more or less has it together even in these stressful times, he grabs your bicep, and he's just like, I can't believe I was so clumsy. I thought I'd been getting enough rest. I mean, we've been working so much, but I truly thought I had myself under control. Walter, did you see me? Did you see me have an accident?
Dr. Williamson, fatigue and gravity makes fools of us all. It may be time for you to go back to your flat and maybe get some rest. Maybe the other doctor, the nurses. Is there somebody we can call in an emergency?
I mean, my wife and my girl are at home, of course. But it's the middle of the night. They're surely asleep. I'm not entirely asking for you. You look rough, and if I might be so frank, you should go home. But we need an attending physician to assist the other doctor here. Is there anybody else we could call? Dr. Corcoran's scheduled to come in about 30 minutes to cover the last of the night in the early morning.
Excellent. My advice is to send one of those orderlies to go get him immediately, and as soon as he gets here, you should go home and get some rest.
I suppose so. It's just...
Dr. Williamson, if you stay here, you're going to kill somebody with the way you're acting. It's time for you to go and get some rest.
And he hears that, and he takes a moment, and he looks you dead in the eyes, and now he seems a bit more lucid. And he said, and he takes out a pen and paper from his lab coat pocket, and he starts writing something down on it. And he's like, listen, this accident and this strange feeling I have, it's you must understand, there's been incidents across the hospitals in East London. There's been doctors killed, nurses kidnapped and killed. could it be some kind of plan to eliminate me as well? I mean, I'm really nobody. I'm really just rather an average doctor, nothing like Dr. Gray. It's very difficult. I mean, you understand the pressure we're under here. I've seen so many people die. I come to grips with the mortality and the hubris of man every day. My chest is as wound tight as a spindle. Anyway, I'm so sorry, Walter.
Listen, stop where you are. Why do you come to this job every day?
To help the people of East London, to cure them of the, to learn how to cure them of the flu, to fight this deadly disease.
And what do you get out of it?
Well, it's my training. I've dedicated my entire life to studying medicine, to advancing it when I can, it makes me feel good to help people and to...
Does it make you feel strong?
Well, yes, I would say so. I don't have a terrible amount of physical strength. I'm just I'm average. I'm no one.
Helping strangers, does it help your spirit?
Well, yes, if it didn't provide some kind of increase in my spirit, there's no way I could come back here day after day.
I'll tell you what, Dr. Williamson, I'm only going to say this once, but fatigue makes fools of us all. No, I'm not saying you're lying, and I'm not saying that you're making this stuff up. But what I want you to do for your strength is go to this address and only go there in order to get your wits about you. There will be plenty of people there to help take care of you. And I give him the address to my haven.
Okay, so he presumably he gave you the pad and you wrote it down. So he puts that in his coat pocket, and then he gives you what he has been writing down. And he said, I won't take up any more of your time. This is a man south of the hospital. He runs a pub. It's called the Drunken Dancer. His name is Myron Bonn. When I was studying in medical school, I often went there to study and drink, and he was a good sort. Perhaps he can give you more information about these incidents of these people, my peers, my colleagues that are being killed. I refuse to believe tonight was a coincidence. I had an accident, yes, of that I'm sure, but I don't know that I'm willing to accept that this was some unfortunate product of chaos of the universe. And he gives you this, and you do get the name Myron Bonn, the pub, the Drunken Dancer, and and he says you'll realize you're there. It's easy to spot, and so he gives you that there.
I tell Dr. Williamson, it's probably best for you, if you do feel your life is in danger, to stay here for a bit until my shift is over, and I can give you a escort. But do me one favor and send an orderly down to me immediately as soon as you find one.
Okay. Yes. You're right. I'm going to go sit down and get my wits about me, as you say. I shouldn't be doing any more physician duties this evening. You're correct, and I'll inform Dr. Corcoran when he begins on shift. And he turns his back to you, and he honestly just like goes around the front desk and sits down on like that same gurney that he had been laying on. And he doesn't lay down, he just sits, but he's got his hands, like his feet are over the thing, and he's just sort of staring into space, questioning his entire existence.
Mr. Williamson, take that jacket off. You don't want to bring any attention to you.
And he just nods, and he takes his coat off, but not before taking the note you gave him and putting it in his just regular breast pocket. So he takes his coat off and just lays it on he probably like puts it behind the gurney so it's not immediately obvious that it's sitting right next to him.
When the orderly gets to me, and we can just fast forward after this, but when the orderly gets to me, I'm going to tell the orderly where to find Clarence Taylor and to send him to me immediately.
Okay. I'm just going to make a quick note of that. So you're telling one more time.
So I asked them to send me an orderly, just a messenger.
Right.
I'm sure I probably know where Clarence hangs out at.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
And so I want Clarence to come to me. I want to tell Clarence to protect the masquerade, to get ahead of me and go to the Haven first, to tell the boys, to the clubhouse, and tell the boys that hush hush, but we need to keep this guy safe, and kind of prep them so that way I can escort him there to the Haven for safety.
Okay.
Maintaining the masquerade and all. So I just need to let the guys know what's going on before I show up.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely want to prep them. Okay, great. I've made a note of that. Cool. So yeah, all that stuff happens with the orderly, and you fully get all the information disseminated that you would like there. We
don't need to RP any of that unless you want me to be an asshole to Clarence. But
no, we're not going to do that at this time. But yeah, we'll down the road. Okay. So at this point, we are going to cut to Lillian. You are about at your destination. Bess is fully sleeping in the back. Not a care in the world. So you, the driver is taking you there. So where are you stopping?
I am probably going straight there, and insisting that she get some rest in one of the probably spare bedrooms, keeping her separate from Mary Alice and Natalie, the other two sisters. And then when I go inside, I would probably insist that one of the servants phone Anne so that I may have a chat with her.
Cool. And just a quick brief period telephone information. So you would have one, you're obviously a woman of great means. So most homes did not have like a telephone at this time, but yours would. It's one of those candlestick telephones that you have to really like do a complicated process to dial, but your servants know the deal at this point, and you correspond regularly with her, so they will go ahead and dial up Anne, Lady Anne. So are you ready to take the call, or did you want to do something before that?
I can go ahead and take the call on that one.
Okay, so we'll say the Bess is in the guest bedroom. She's just still zonked out. You probably set the antibiotics and whatnot next to her on the table, and probably will have to brief a servant on her treatment at some point. So
I probably actually didn't even get the antibiotics filled. I just Ghouled her. So
okay, cool.
It. And that's why I want her separate from the other two right now.
There you go. Okay, perfect. That's fine.
And she is likely locked in that room. Like, put her to bed and lock the door.
Okay, so wherever you're located in the house, the servant approaches you and asks you to follow them to the room where the phone is. So you'll follow them. And you pick up the receiver. And a steely, powerful voice comes through the phone. Hello?
Anne, darling, how have you been?
Oh, Lillian, it's so nice to hear from you. I feel like it's been so long since I've heard your voice, and isn't it wonderful that I can hear your voice like this?
I do agree with you. It is most wonderful, and it definitely keeps the having to go here and there and everywhere to make these conversations possible. But I won't keep you too long. I know you're very, very busy, and I just wanted to inform you there has been quite an interesting episode of sorts happening at the hospital. Oh dear. Can't quite remember the name of it. You know the one down on slummy parts.
Oh, East London, you mean?
Yes, darling.
So, of course, dreadful.
Some very unusual creature, we'll call it a creature, from what I'm told is technically kindred. I don't really know how they deduce such thing, but nonetheless, attacked a doctor and was looking for another doctor, and apparently came under the required command of, oh, what was that name again? Storyteller, I can't quite remember what the name was. I think you're looking for
right. I think you're looking for Bollingsworth.
That's it. Bollingsworth. Okay. Bollingsworth.
I mean, that's strange. We typically don't pay much attention to what's going on in that area. The mortals are quite disgusting and detestable, and the prince and I we truly have no business there typically. But if you say that there is a kindred creature, that's very unusual. That is something that should be investigated, certainly. You'll have to excuse the prince. He's off dealing with Setites in Chelsea, involved in the opium and drug trade. It's just a terrible mess. But he did deploy Eleanor for the Shrike team. So she is utilizing her role well to serve us.
I'm sure she is. How absolutely wonderful of her. Nonetheless, changing the subject, I hope you don't mind, but Eleanor is probably the least interesting things to speak about at the moment. About this creature, though, as I said, it was being commanded and was told it needed to kill a doctor in that particular hospital. I managed, with the aid of a few other kindred, to send it on its way. But I have a feeling it is going to return, and it's probably not the last that we're going to see about it. Perhaps, considering the state of its commander, I might be able to do some digging. Perhaps it might be even worth, I don't know, maybe a bit of a push on that particular adventure that you and I have been discussing.
Perhaps. I mean, this could be a good opportunity for you to seize and to improve yourself in your station. Who knows? So much yet remains unknown. I am interested. I mean, normally I could care less what's happening east of the Tower of London, but I don't know. It does seem strange, and to target a doctor specifically is caused for some pause, I believe. I will pass this currently to Juliet Parr, the sheriff of North London. I will pass will pass this information to them and see what they might make of it. Can you describe the creature?
Wings.
Wings.
Tall. Yes, it did. It had wings. I absolutely don't think that even the strongest of our particular kindred would probably have done very well against it in a strength battle of any sort. It was large and yes, wings, didn't talk very well, didn't seem very educated, seemed quite one-tracked. Could be part of the compulsion or whatever it was that it was under. Wore an anklet. I believe the initials were RB. Or perhaps it was BR. Those two, I'm sure it was those two. I'm not... Yes, one of those arrangements. Can't be completely sure which one, but you get the idea.
Yes, I am intrigued, and I've been so bored recently. I'm practically listless, empty. I'm seeking a challenge, so perhaps this could be beneficial for us both, ultimately. I'm sorry you have to be involved in such nasty business in that part of the city, but needs must, I suppose. Now, one moment. Bollingsworth, you said. It does sound familiar. Old money, of course. Very interesting.
Yes.
They're both artisans and industrialists. In some of the parties, the functions that I've been to with the prince, their glass is used for wine bottles. I know I've seen their mark, their engraving on some of these bottles. And I do believe they were sanctioned by Charles II, centuries ago. So, they had some standing, and they did quite well for quite a number of years, centuries even. So, they're not functioning in full capacity these days, as far as I know. But I don't know any members personally of that family, nor am I sure of their board or their directors. I'm not entirely sure. But again, I will put a word out to my contacts. Lillian, if you would be so kind as to roll, let's see, give me I would like charisma and persuasion.
Okay.
I know it's a big pool for you too, so.
Yeah, hold on.
Sure, you're fine. Yeah, you got to get all them dice together. I believe you're at just hunger. No, you're at hunger too, right?
I am. The intention is after this call, I'm going to feed. Yes.
Okay, cool.
That is 4 with 1 crit.
Okay, 4 with 1 crit. Okay, because you have gotten a critical success there. Anne is just very taken by this series of events. Like I said, she's kind of bored, so this is really like firing up. Well, if the synapses could be fired up, they would be. Right. So she sort of pauses for a moment on the phone, and she says, "You know what? I do remember something rather strange as well about Bollingsworth Fine Glass. It's that I believe the and she like she almost like chokes back her words. She's like, the Tremere, they used their files for their ghastly incantations and spells and whatnot. They would purchase files from Barlingsworth Fine Glass. Like I said, they were both very hearty and also very nice to look at. So they were quite an enviable item. And I do believe that I remember in my thankfully brief dealings with them, I do remember that small detail.
Yeah. Well, perhaps that might be where this dreadful creature has originated, something along those lines. I can't be sure, but I'm definitely interested to find out, especially if it will improve my chances here in London with the ventures that I am currently trying to grow.
And I do hope that you're surrounding yourself with worthy individuals and not
hardly
riffraff, considering the area.
Unfortunately, considering the area this all occurred, the individuals are hardly of a status I would consider to be one that I should bother myself with, but they did manage well enough, and perhaps cannon fodder is cannon fodder these days. So.
Oh yes, you're a woman after my own heart. Now I do have to go quite soon, but I did want to just ask about your family. How are they faring in these difficult times?
Well enough.
Well enough. You're taking care of them and maintaining your discretion, I imagine.
Yes, I'm doing the absolute best that I can to take care of them and make sure that full discretion is kept. Bess might have proven to be a bit of a problem, but I think I have cured that one recently, actually.
Very good. I do trust you. I do trust you to have the situation handled with care. Now I must go. It was nice talking to you. I'm glad you've shared this with me, and like I said, I will inform the sheriff, and we shall see. We shall see.
Absolutely. Do keep me informed. Should you find anything else of interest that might require my care?
Of course, I'm always keeping you in mind, dear.
And with that, she will end the call and ask her driver, or a servant, to tell her driver to round up, to let the other three know that she would very much so appreciate if they would grace her with their presence. She says it very much sarcastic, like just the utmost sarcasm in her voice.
Sure.
And then when the driver goes to get them, she's going to probably call in Mary Alice and have a bit of a snack to take that hunger down.
Sure. And there's no rules required for this, as they're your chosen vessels. So you can go ahead and slake one hunger at this time. And what we're actually going to do is we will say that the driver was able to find all you guys, contact you through all the various connections that the Crawfords enjoy. And we're actually going to skip forward to the following evening. So let us say that all of you are arriving at Lillian's one of many residences that Lillian frequents. This is just the easiest to get to at this time. So are you gonna send like an individual car for each, or are they all coming together?
Lillian probably would have assumed that they were at least around the same area together, since she has seen them in that same area together already. So she would probably have just sent one car. No sense in trying to send 3. They're not worth that much to her. No.
Yeah, I was about to say. Okay, cool. So they'll just get one car, and you know that you should probably you should pick up what Lillian's putting down. So you all will be driven to her residence, and since this is a brand new night, we'll say it's 9 or 10 p.m. And if you could make a rouse check, everyone, for me, please.
Well,
I already failed mine, so I am at hunger 2. And actually, I would like to offer up a suggestion, if I may, storyteller.
Please.
Mayhap Rafe would have gotten his writing off to his contact that still works in the newspaper, or in the media.
Sure.
And after awakening a bit hungry, he probably would have gone to the Randy Dandy for a little bit of a snack.
Okay.
And that might actually be a good place where Lillian's car would find all 3 of us.
Okay, I like that. So you all are, Tommy's blood pimping like usual.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Walter, if it's agreeable to you, you picked up another shift at the Dandy, or you were hanging out there, you were looking for somebody. What do you think?
Well, I've still got that guest. So what I would have done that night when I got home is actually get a debriefing, because I know he's not lying. And so I want to get as much information from him. And you don't need to tell me now, but when I look at you during the debriefing, just fill me in on what the guy would have told me about what information he's done, Dr. Williamson.
Okay.
He would have stayed with me that night just to put us at ease, and then we would have told him our door's always open. I would have asked Clarence to be around the hospital in case he does have another freak out.
Okay.
But Clarence, whether he listens to me or not, that's up to you. So
no, Clarence will do what you say.
He's my retainer, so
he's gonna do what you say with no rules or real exertion of effort on your part. So Williamson comes back with you to your haven. You very unkindred welcome him into your circle. It's
so what I'm thinking is my tribe needs a doctor. My guy,
big brain
my guys. I can't always heal all my guys.
That's facts. Okay, I really like that. Okay, that's fantastic. So you're right. And Dr. Williamson, before we continue, in the real time moment at Lillian's residence, Williamson basically does just debrief you on all he knows on the, and I will get that information.
We're not giving him the hard sell. We're just saying,
no,
hey, whenever if you ever feel you need someplace to stay, there's a whole side of some guys.
So. Absolutely. Cool. And, he'll be very appreciative in that. And he will go back in the next night to the hospital.
Good.
But Clarence will be hanging around and keeping an eye on him. And it's not a big hospital. It's easy enough to keep an eye on his movement, so then he can report back to you later. Tommy, did you have anything that you wanted to do in terms of the conclusion of the previous night?
Nope, my rouse check came back good, so I'm not hungry. I'm just waiting to see. I guess I'm just kind of sitting at the Randy Dandy, making sure everything is smooth.
Cool. So you'll get picked up in Lillian's car then, and you'll go along.
Before I leave my haven, because I failed my rouse check, we are going to have a "your strength is my strength's" kumbaya moment.
Of course. I know them well.
Yeah.
Yes, that's completely fine. So those of you that failed your rouse decks, you all sort of fix it immediately.
Yeah.
So everybody, I believe, is at.
And then I will go to the
again.
Randy Dandy. Yeah.
And then you'll go to the Randy Dandy. Okay, so everybody's at Hunger 1. Everybody's concluded their business from the previous night. You all arrive here at Lillian's. You're fed, you're lucid, you're ready to like see what is up. And you all walk in, and it's a very typical rich person's let's say it's just a really nice flat. It's maybe like up on it's you gotta walk up to get there, and you'll just sort of be go ahead.
I'd say it's probably one of the corner like flats from the like a corner section, so
absolutely.
That she likes the round windows, but she also has vantage points.
Perfect. Okay, cool. So you all arrive there, and you're just kind of in the waiting area. There are servants sort of going back and forth, attending to their various duties. Lillian enters.
Hello. So good of you all to come here.
Rafe probably would have been standing by the, like, I'm assuming this is some sort of sitting room or waiting room.
Sure.
Where we're all kind of gathered, and Rafe probably would have been hanging around the door where they came in from, just kind of taking it all in, just not really writing anything down or taking any notes, but definitely being observant of his surroundings.
And how is Rafe feeling? Like, what is after what happened?
Well, he's very impressed with Lillian's holdings, obviously, and knowing that he's already gone out of his way to help maintain the masquerade without even being asked by the Camarilla. He's hoping to maybe use that to. If not Lillian's respect, then maybe at least take a little edge off the disdain that she may feel for the young neonate. And he's definitely maybe keeping an eye out for Bess. He's not actively looking for her, but if she's under lock and key. He's not like poking his head into spare rooms. No,
okay.
He's been told to sit here and wait, so he's going to stand there. And when Lillian enters, he does kind of snap to respectful attention. He knows how to behave when he is in a obviously better kindred's domain.
I love it. Walter, what's going through your head?
When she says hello, I'll still kind of give her the, like, why am I here? I thought we took care of this. But, like, in thought form. I'm not going to be
sure,
so rude.
You're not going to say.
Yeah. I'm not going to presume I am in her house.
Sure. And Tommy, what's his state?
Tommy's
killed a man.
Tommy's just kind of sitting in the room, hands over his mouth. When Lily walks in, he nods, Mom.
Okay. And Lillian, before you make your greetings, what's Lillian's headspace?
Lillian is probably kind of begrudgingly heading towards where they are. And she made sure to have them informed that they were not to leave this little sitting room area. It's probably the very first little sitting room area that you get to. Like, as soon as you walk through the door, right to the side, stay there, close the door.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, proceed.
Right. Good of you, as I said, to come here at my request. First, I would like to say whatever happened to the lovely Dr. Gray. Yes, it was Gray, I believe. I don't need to know details. I don't care. I assume what will happen to him is what I intended on happening. So, I will be very soon having another doctor to replace him.
Thank you, madam.
Should be not a problem at all. Should be within a day or two. It takes a little bit more time for them to gather their things and, files and or whatever the hell it is that they get from one place to the other. I don't really know and I don't really care. Either way, it's going to happen. And have any of you heard or seen that creature since then?
No, and I really haven't had the opportunity to look much more into it either, but I assure you, though, if you get the evening paper, my article's probably going to be front and center. So just keep that in mind. But no, I haven't heard or seen of it yet, and I haven't had the opportunity to really do much otherwise. Sorry.
Sarah, out of curiosity, what do I know about that gang? Do I have a lot of dealings with them?
About
the Bloody
Fist?
Yeah.
You would, anytime you're in the East End, you're gonna see basically little almost patrols of them, of 3 or 4 guys hanging around. Obviously they have the very the distinctive red cloth around their hands, so they're really easy to identify when you see them. And with your kindred sight, you can easily spot it even far away. They're,
I guess what I'm asking,
you don't know any specific incidents. You kind of get the idea that they're sort of just terrorizing the people of the East End in general, but there hasn't been anything extremely violent or egregious that you know about. Is that?
Well, my question mainly was to look out for Ralph. If he starts spreading tremendous lies about this group, are they going to get pissed off and come looking for him?
Well,
is that something?
That's a good question.
Is that something I've seen them do?
Well, I don't know.
Threaten.
It's just a matter of if they're looking for Rafe or if they're looking for G.L. Thornborough.
No, that's true.
That's the problem.
Right. Yeah, right. So he does write under the pen name for this type of stuff. So his name won't be connected.
Okay. I didn't know.
And it's not
mentioning, it's I looking out for
if you want to raise, if you in character want to raise that concern to him, I would absolutely do that. You can do that.
And I didn't know. Okay. Rafe, I'd take it easy on the slander or the libel of the Red. They are a violent group. They're not particularly egregious, but
no, but they're a scapegoat, and they're easy to use and they're easy to manipulate and ultimately they're getting attention. It's going to make them feel bigger than what they actually are. So if we ever need to take the wind out of the sails, it's going to be easy to do. A little bit of overconfidence can kill a person.
You do you. I'm voicing my opinion. It's all right. If you can take them, you can take them.
Well, no, no, fisticuffs, no, not so much. But if I can make it the highest priority of every copper in London to make sure that the Bloody Fists are no more, then hey, I did my job.
Do you actually have that ability to make sure that they are no more?
Well,
Can you do that?
I'm good at turning a phrase, Mom. It's just a matter of finding the opportunity to take advantage of it.
Everybody wants a reputation as a badass, but nobody wants a case made for them.
But you're not. I say
I'm done trying to get in the middle of these guys' heads. I apologize.
I appreciate the way you are thinking, but what you're saying specifically about making sure that they're no longer a threat or whatever it was you were saying. I was only half paying attention, to be honest.
Checks out.
Nonetheless, it seems like it would take a significant amount of time to pull off. And from what I can gather with street gangs, they don't necessarily need a significant amount of time to do whatever it is that they do. Just an opportunity. So perhaps we start with baby steps.
Well, that's
small
what
things here and there.
That's what.
So that you have enough to add up, rather than one large thing make them go super mad about whatever it is you have written. I don't know, and I don't know who all knows about what was that name you used again? GEGL.
Oh yes, GL Thornborough.
Right, you just told it to me twice and to them twice. Not incredibly bright. Perhaps keep that to yourself a bit more. Or at the very least watch when and where you say it. You never know who's listening.
Pen names are easy to burn though, Mum, if necessary. That's also the beauty of writing anonymously. It's GL Thornborough can disappear, and then maybe in a couple of months, Mr. Robert Price III comes forth, and now he's writing. So you see,
bring my name into it.
Well, I just reached for the name. I'm sorry, Walter, but I just reached. But I mean, it's
good.
It's a versatile ability, Mom. That's every little bit helps.
Fair point. But what if burning a pseudonym? You have to know you need to burn it. And typically, there's a reason you do so. Like, perhaps, I don't know, you're attacked. And then, oops, looks like I need to burn that one. Do you understand what I'm saying? Please tell me you do. I don't really want to.
Oh, no, I very much understand. I've been through my own fair share of tight spots back on the mainland during the war, so I've got my wits about me, Mom. Don't worry. I've got it.
Sure. We will pretend to. Yes. All right. As you wish. You can. That's fine. And she's gonna look at Walter. You seem to be a bit more, for lack of a better term at the moment, or rather, I just don't want to find a better term. Brighter than certain current company.
I'm not sure I'd say that, madam. So I guess my question is, why are we here? I thought we had this all taken care of last night.
You would think
we
that
chased the man
had
away, and we hid the direct object, I guess.
Right.
Grammar.
So we are here so that I could inform you. I have informed the seneschal of what occurred, and she is sending that to the sheriff. There is a potential that we might actually be called upon to aid in this bit of investigation, considering this creature you said was kindred.
It was indeed kindred.
It was an odd bit of creature, one that I have never seen before, and one that didn't seem to ring any bells for Anne, and so you should be aware that that is a possibility. Also, Bollingsworth, wine bottles. The creature spoke of glass, colored glass. And it is still loose. So it is very safe to say that it very well could turn up again. And if you three are on its burned or etched into its memory somehow, whoever commanded it very likely could be sending it your way as well as my way. So I'm simply stating that perhaps we should utilize what we all currently know to ensure that we don't fall victim to whatever it was.
Now, I won't pretend to think that I know what's going to do next, but this was not Australia now. Goddamn. Yeah. So this was not an isolated incident. I was able to spend some time with the other good doctor, the one that was actually throttled, and he was able to tell me exactly what has been happening within the medical community around the city. So I don't know if that's worth following up or taking these notes to the sheriff.
So this is potentially
not smart enough to track this down myself, but he is hanging out at my clubhouse. So he is safe. But right now, he's the only one that I've heard of that is reporting this kind of attack, which means that the other ones are either keeping quiet about it, which is entirely possible, or they're not living to tell about it. So this may be our only witness.
And before you continue your conversation, Walter, Dr. Williamson would have really impressed upon you while he was at the clubhouse with you about this guy, Myron at the Drunken Dancer, that like this guy like can get you information. Like he's very much, he just like, it was something that he was repeated, and he would kind of go in and out of like remembering his medical school days. He's like a little frazzled, but he speaks very highly of this guy and his ability to know what's going on in the East End.
I'll bring that up. I think our linchpin is this Myron fella.
Does make a lot of sense.
Interesting. All right. Perhaps such information very well should make its way to the sheriff. Not
but I suppose
necessarily
we've
isolated incidents.
And I suppose at this moment we've all got the most information on it, so we're going to be at the sheriff's disposal. Is that correct?
Potentially. Likely.
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 I'm not familiar with this type of hierarchy in this city.
Well,
forgive me if I keep to myself. Is this sheriff easy to work with? I can only have one battle axe on me.
Storyteller, is the sheriff easy to work with?
Right. So you would know Juliet Parr is a very interesting, definitely a character. Kind of on the reserve side, definitely not a big talker. Not necessarily like they're a gender fluid actually kind of individual, and they look very, very young. Like they look like 18 years old, so they almost look like a child, and they're very slight and pale, with like dark hair, cropped short, and sort of dressing in like very fine men's style clothing. In terms of like, are they easy to work with? I would say not especially easy to work with. They tend to be reclusive. They're only really being deployed when it's really necessary, but they're very highly intelligent, perceptive, and with high mental sort of abilities, and you would know that they are a Malkavian as well. And they are they can be very morose and very almost like obsessed with death and anything surrounding it. So they tend to be just kind of despondent a lot of the time. So they're not easy to work with, and they're not really your typical they're not really a typical sheriff character in terms of like being like the muscle of the prince. Like they operate in much more like subtle and like mind fuck kind of ways. So that's what you would, I don't know, Lillian probably definitely would have met them at least like once or twice, but they probably, I don't know that you've ever like worked together. Yeah, so that's your info dump on Juliet Martin.
Dropping the facade, the entire line of questioning was really just to get a bar of it, Lillian.
Sure.
It's like, I can only handle one of you types. Come on now.
Oh yeah, no, not like Lillian, no.
No. She would probably then say, well, he's a Malkavian. They're a Malkavian, and how easy do you think one is to work with in a power level such as a sheriff? One who is rather morose.
It sounds dandy. Sounds great.
It sounds like we really won't be given an option on whether or not we're going to help or not. There's really no choice in the matter. Either you ask us to help directly, we tell you no, we try going upon our way, and then the sheriff is going to politely request that we help. And if we say no, then we will be told that we will be helping, or we will no longer be residents of London proper.
Rafe, as soon as I heard the name Myron, I knew I was going to be dragged into this, and all I can see at the end of this is either going to be death or glory.
Oh, really?
Oh, well, I don't intend on dying at all.
Well, then it's glory
again.
for both of us.
At this very moment, nothing has been asked as far as helping directly. More so, keep your eyes open and your ears to the ground, so to speak. Should more be required, I'm sure the sheriff will let us each know.
And tell me what you got to say about all this.
Well, I think we have two places that we need to look into. I think the Drunken Dancer. I think Myron sounds like a wonderful start to the situation. And then I think the bottling plant might be a place to sneak around just a little bit, just to find out what's really going on over there.
Right, now, is this going to be one of those circumstances where we're just going to be proactive and we're going to work together as a team and get to the bottom of what's going on, so then that way our esteemed patron, Ms. Crawford here, will have a shiny reward after she presents her majestic results to the sheriff?
Likely.
Okay, I'm just so I understand the situation.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I would absolutely allow for something to go each of your way. But yes, I stand to gain quite a lot.
I mean, I'm not much one for upward mobility in the tower. It's just, I mean, I know where things are situated in the city, and I know that to buck against Prince Mithras is not a very good idea. So, I mean, I'm willing to help as long as my colleagues here are also willing to help. At least, we'll use the term voluntarily loosely, but I see the natural progression of things, so it's only a matter of time. Why waste it?
Rafe has heard this story before.
I mean, technically, what you should understand, Rafe, is that not everything is about gaining status in the tower. Perhaps you should consider other things to be more important than that to one of my current stature.
Sometimes an increase in strength is reward enough.
I mean, I do have my own vested interest to figure out what was going on in the hospital anyway. So, I mean, it doesn't require a lot of poking and prodding to get me going in whatever direction you want. But by all means, I am at your disposal. Anything that you or the tower need, ma'am, I'm ready to assist.
I will absolutely keep that in mind. Until then, if I'm going to be quite honest, if I need to request your presence again, it would be much easier if you were all located in a singular place. Plus, on the bright side also, if you were all together in one place, not only would it be easier for me to find you, but it would also be easier for you to defend yourself should it decide that that creature decides it wants to, continue what it was doing at the hospital with you three.
That's a very valid point. Because quite frankly, Walter, Tommy, both of you, if I could see either one of you at least being able to stand your own long enough to get away. If I get caught, that's the end. Really, there's no way I'd be able to get away from a thing like that. And that's a wonderful idea. And Tommy, you got space at the Randy Dandy, don't you?
I'm not sure if I would want to bring those upon the girls. However, we can try to arrange something to make that work for all of us. I need to get a hold of my contacts to give them the hunker down mode on my place.
I give you both kind of like a disgusted look.
What's wrong with you, Walt?
I've got a fortified clubhouse. You can come by. You're not part of the tribe yet, but you are welcome to my hospitality.
I've never seen hospitality with such a growl on their face, but I will, sounds like a good idea.
And that just as good a place as any there, that's fine, and I'll try to make sure that I will still be frequenting the Randy Dandy quite a bit. I'm only going to be relying upon you, Walter, just as daytime protection.
Fair enough.
But I'm going to come and go as I please. But yes, it's a wonderful idea.
That is indeed a wonderful idea. Mr. Price, if you would be so kind as to let me know where exactly this fortified building structure is.
I'll give you the directions to it. I'm not going to give you the address, but yeah, that's how we get to it. It's
good enough for me. I will be sure to send someone there should I need you again.
And it's at this point that a servant sort of like very timidly comes up behind Lillian, and she'll just barely, she's like a little stocky woman with dark hair and a braid, and she's like, excuse me, Mum.
Yes, what is it?
Bess is complaining that you don't have the clothes that she likes.
do tell her that I will be with her once I am finished with my meeting, and she should be grateful that you know what? Just tell her I will be there momentarily.
Yes, of course. So sorry to bother, but yeah, she's getting quite yeah, and then she turns on her heel and she is straight up out of there as soon as possible. Cool. I think
what does Rafe do when she says something about Bess?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, he's definitely he's definitely a little interested, but he's not gonna press the issue. Like I said before, he knows how to behave in someone else's domain.
Because Lillian is definitely side-eyeing him, watching to see what he does.
He's doing his best to not actively like perk up.
Okay, let's hold on one second.
I'm more than happy to roll.
I was about to say, I was like, let's just.
You just don't get out of that compulsion.
No.
Let's just give me Jeez Louise. I
love you.
You know what? Just give me a straight composure roll.
Oh fuck. That is 2 successes actually.
Wow. Oh my god, that's really good.
2 out of 2.
Yeah. So you there is no outward sign that this has affected you anyway, but because of everyone's kindred heightened senses, they can probably just detect this slight change of energy, this little bit of like what would have formerly been adrenaline, just like but they can detect like a slight change in energy, but like you don't make a weird face, like your body doesn't do anything weird.
There's
You're just
that
like
very subtle involuntary muscular shift as the beast.
Exactly, a little twitch at the corner of the mouth or something like that, but nothing, it's not overt in any way.
I smelled your neckbeard grow.
Right.
In short, she knows.
Right. Okay. It's at this time I think that we're gonna take a little bit of a break. And we will be back very shortly. So get your water, take a stretch, do what you gotta do, and we will see you very shortly. Welcome back to Martlet Games, to our London's Bleeding Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle. The erstwhile potentially forming coterie of kindred is at Lillian Crawford's residence, having a discussion about the previous night's event, the chaos that ensued, the information that was gathered, and now they are making some decisions on what they would like to do next to start on their investigation of the many things that are going on.
All right. Well, Miss Crawford, here's how I'm seeing the situation. I've indirectly or directly worked with both Tommy and Walter to some degree. You and I, you're kind of new to this whole arrangement, so I personally think that going to the Bollingsworth facility is probably not the smartest move to make, at least to start. That seems to be the more precarious of the moves to make, and while we're still trying to figure out how this is going to work, looking up the lead there that Walter has, I think that would probably be the safer start. Less intense, is more low pressure.
Yes, you are probably right there. I wouldn't be exactly suggesting that we go to the Bollingsworth facility, not us specifically, but it wouldn't necessarily hurt to send someone just to see if anybody has been home, so to speak, lately?
Unfortunately, I personally don't have anyone.
You don't have anybody on that side of London that you would not be incredibly upset about losing?
I've only got really just a small handful of people, and they're all very near and dear to me. I don't have anyone that I could consider disposable at my disposal.
What about that red mittens, red fist, red glove, whatever it was, red whatever? What about one of them?
I don't have any contacts with them. I'm just using them to our advantage if we need to maintain the masquerade in the neighborhood.
What about either of you? Do you have any... Anyway, surely one of you could manage to acquire one.
Pretty much keep to me and my own. But I feel like Walter knows a little bit of the bloody fists around town. You might...
Me and the bloody fists are not on friendly terms.
Bloody fist? Why didn't I realize that? Red blood, it's the same thing.
Fist,
it's all the same.
No, I'm afraid that... Oh, goddamn. I'm afraid that... that Clarence is dear to me, and everybody else is just part of the tribe and do their own thing. We could probably find somebody, if we're being honest. I'm sure there's some up-and-coming ruffian that may want to make a quick buck or two.
See, now that is being resourceful. That is what I was meaning. I wasn't necessarily saying send me one of your best friends. No, I was meaning can you acquire one?
Actually, I've gone to...
It'd be easier with a couple bits of copper, I'll be honest with you, madam.
Tell you what, I could probably...
As he looks around your house.
I could actually probably bank on... Yes. I should be actually getting quite a bit of spare coin from my article once it's all done through the publisher. Yeah, I could actually probably give a little extra and just... I could maybe reach out to one of my regular girls, see if she... No. I'll find someone who I think would be appropriate. We'll put the Bollingsworth on the back burner. I'll find somebody. I can handle that. Yes.
How much of a back burner?
No, not much. By all means, by the middle of tomorrow night, I'll have someone lined up.
Fantastic. I like to be very prompt and do what needs to be done immediately rather than, waste time and whatever it is that other people do. I prefer for it to be done sooner rather than later, because the sooner it is done and this whole mess is over and settled, we all can go back to whatever it was we were doing before.
Correct. Now, do you want them to get all the way inside, or do you just want them to check the place, like the surrounding area?
Well, I'm not paying anybody to walk by the fucking thing. They've got to go inside and see what's going on.
All right.
Precisely. And if they don't return, well, I'd say it's safe enough to assume that there is likely someone inside.
Very true. Out of character note,
that's a bit
storyteller, I do plan on spending experience after this session to acquire a second dot in contacts, and that we'll discuss who that person is going to be that's going to be getting sent to the factory, but they're basically going to be under my employ to do this job, and if they make it out, then I intend on keeping them on my payroll.
And if not, it was an easy contact.
Yeah, don't be proud. Make Lillian pay for it.
I mean, she could, but you guys are going ahead and taking this
Yeah.
She's
If you
gonna
keep
let you do
saying
it.
you're gonna
It's
pay
so
for it, she's gonna
funny.
let you.
You have all this money.
I'll give you a little
yet
bit of
Rafe's
coin.
like, I'm gonna do it. It's I love
She's
it.
like,
Okay.
all right, if you're
I mean,
gonna
if
do it,
pride's
you
your
can do
thing,
it.
you can do it. But yeah, I'm just like Walter's like, no. This one.
Actually, I'm sorry to derail the game here, or maybe this could be my contribution towards the shared coterie resources pool.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm making a note. And we can
we'll work that out.
We can work that out.
Yeah.
Yes, we will work it out. But yeah, thank you for telling me. I did make a note of it. That we can get that going.
That's how I intend on resolving that. So sorry to derail, but that is yep.
We want to know what we're doing, so that's perfectly fine. Cool.
We want to know what Lillian is not paying for.
Well, it's gonna be a short list.
So the facility issue has a temporary, or we got a placeholder in what we're gonna do there. So what about the rest of your night? It's probably like 10:30.
Well, let's
go find Myron, I suppose.
Head to the Drunken Dancer.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, so
before they leave, she would let them know that she'll and her driver will take them wherever they need to go.
You're coming along, aren't you, Mom?
Oh, on that side of London? Are you kidding? You're joking.
I don't know if you noticed, but I don't speak so good.
Well, Mom, I mean, we're not technically on anyone's payroll within the tower officially on the books yet. I mean, you're kind of spearheading this whole thing. Wouldn't it make sense? Wouldn't it look better to whoever you're trying to impress that you're taking charge and you're leading the effort?
Let me just be very clear and explain something very small to you. Ventru, the one that the Seneschal, Ventru, the fact that I'm letting you do this on your own and handle it without me having to deal with any of it is par for the course, darling.
Now, wait a second. Don't piss me back and tell me it's raining. We're doing this because we're doing it, and you're part of this.
Oh, don't get your whatever you'd like to say. What is
it's
those
called pants in me bum. We have both of them.
Whatever it is that I just... Because I am going to be polite about all of this.
Thank you for the politeness.
I will accompany you this one particular time. I will not be staying in that part of the city at all, though. We will go and we will speak to this Myron. Is that what you said his name was?
If we're being frank, Mum, we need your bona fides in order to get Myron to speak to us. He's not going to talk to a garbage man like me or the other two.
That's fair. Fine. I will accompany you to speak to this person, after which I will promptly return home and likely not ever go into that side of the city again. I will send.
That sounds fair to me.
Very well, Mom. And this could be your one contribution to the effort.
I brought you all here. That's a rather large contribution. I know, but currently
you're leading
into my home.
You're leading by example. If you've got a future within the Camarilla, I'm sure knowing that you know how to do it, by proving that you are doing it, I mean, that does lend a little more credence to your status later on down the road.
Rafe, you're my mate. Rafe, you're my mate, but we can't get her to admit wrong more than once in a conversation.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that this is my once in a decade, but no.
So remember earlier when I told you that not everything was about status in the tower?
Correct.
Precisely.
Understood.
Nonetheless, I will accompany you, Mr. Price, and Tommy, correct? If you would like, you can head towards the car. I would like to have a moment, a word with Mr. Rafe, Mr. GL, whatever pseudo name you decided to choose, for just a moment. It won't take but a second.
My given surname is Williams, Mom.
I don't care.
I take the opportunity to leave this place.
Okay, so Walter and Tommy are going to the car. That's presumably.
Well, I'm gonna stand. I'm gonna, as soon as the door closes, I'm just gonna stand next to the door so I can hear a little bit of this. What is about to happen?
Fair enough. Walter,
I gotta get my entertainment somehow.
Okay.
Do either of you have heightened senses? That's the important question.
Yeah.
No.
If it gets loud, I'll understand what's going on. I'm not looking for the full. I'm just waiting for that.
See, I don't have the modern day convenience of being able to play Good Vibrations by Marky Mark on the Funky Bunch on Spotify.
Wow, what a callback!
You just got ska going on in the background and whispering to each other.
Pick it up.
Awesome.
Okay, so Walter and Tommy, well, the car is being like pulled around. The driver is like getting it all ready. So
I'm keeping myself entertained. It's not the point of the scene.
Okay.
So yeah, Lillian will stare for a moment at Brave, and then she's just gonna be like, Bess, I need to make sure you understand something. Let me for a moment be perfectly clear. She is mine. Not yours, will never be yours. Mine. She is my family. She is mine in every sense of the word. Do I make myself clear? Do you understand?
Oh, very much so. That's, now that I know exactly where things sit, my word, my honor, done.
Should
Finished.
you interfere in any way whatsoever, you might find yourself without a head.
No, understood. No.
Good.
No
glad we
need to
have
press. That's
this
message
understanding. And also, just a word to the wise. The next time you decide to use one of those abilities in public, you might want to make sure it's not another kindred that you so sloppily failed to impress. The next one might not be as kind as I am. And with that, she's just going to open the door. After you.
He will nod silently. He's been thoroughly chastised, and he knows. Silent, straightforward out the door. No word spoken in defense. He's gotten his tongue lashing out of the way.
Lillian, did you want to have a conversation with Bess before you leave, or are you just gonna let that one?
Yeah, I will go as they're heading to the car. I would go in and kind of just check on her, and get her to calm down and tell her to sleep.
Yeah, she, kind of has a bit of a like weepy moment, but you're able to get her under control.
Give her more blood because it's the next night, and make her sleep.
Cool. Yeah. So she that happens without any particular difficulty. Okay, so you're all four of you going in the car.
Yes.
Okay. Alrighty. Cool. So about a mile south of Wetterman Hospital stands the Drunken Dancer pub. It has survived several centuries. Before you walk in, you get out of the car, but before you walk in, you can see a wooden platform outside of the bar. And more specifically, it's actually a gallows with one single noose hanging from it. It's unmoving in the cold and stagnant air. If you really squint down the street, if it weren't quite so dark, you could almost see the Thames at this point. You're getting close to the East End docks area. You're not right on the water, but you can definitely you can perceive it at this distance. Usually the pub would be packed with smugglers and sailors, but now there's only like a single sallow dock worker lurking in the corner. He's nursing a dark brown liquor in a miserable fashion. It's really sparsely as you walk. Did you want to do anything before you walk into the bar proper?
I stay at the threshold.
So you're not walking in?
I'm not walking in.
Okay.
I rolled a rouse check to activate Blush of Life, and I succeeded.
Okay, perfect.
Rafe is all about trying to maintain a mortal appearance, especially in the wintertime.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so that's good. And as you you do your rouse check and you call upon the power of your blood to give yourself a mortal appearance, you get a little bit of flush in your cheeks. You can simulate that air, the hot air coming out in the cold night air. So it's very convincing. And you know, there are more attributes that could be exploited should the need arise with Blush of Life. Okay, so Walter stands on the threshold. Lillian and Tommy, you're also walking in?
I'm going to use Unseen Passage and tell Rafe to hold the door for me.
All right. Will do, sir.
That will be a rouse check if you didn't already do so.
That is a failure.
Okay, so as you disappear from view with this power of obfuscation, again, just like last night, you hear a higher pitched voice, but you can tell that it's a man. It's just a higher pitched man's voice, and he's saying, "You must make sure everything is right in its place, including your need, my needs, your needs. Everything in place before you strike. Do not be careless."
Never was, love.
And you feel yourself get hungrier walking into this bar. Or I'm sorry, you're invisible and are you moving anywhere in particular, or are you just staying around just out front of it?
No, when Rafe walks in, I'm going to have him hold the door for a couple seconds so I can get inside.
Oh, so you can get in and be obfuscated. Okay, sure.
Open the door.
Perfect.
What do you mean?
Okay, great. And just as a reminder, Tommy, no odors, no sounds louder than a whisper, but you can move around. Okay, so you walk in. You do see that dock worker looking miserable in his own world. It's really sparsely appointed in here. There's, again, it's just this typical heavy oak tables and kind of unadorned wooden chairs. The long bar honestly takes up like most of the establishment. Like it's this long bar that reaches like 70% across the length of the room. And it's really just like one large room, though you can see there's like a couple doors that are probably like utility areas, but then there's a door that seems to lead to like another part of the bar, but you're not sure if it's like publicly accessible. So the bar, there's an absolutely skeletal collection of cheap alcohol. It's a rustic place, but it's pretty much as clean as it could be in the East End London docks in the early 20th century. And it's most likely due to a brown-skinned woman that is sweeping up in like a rather determined way. So behind the bar is a solitary guy. It's a man in his mid 40s. He's slightly shorter than average. He's white. He's got kind of shaggy dark hair and brown eyes with a untended beard scruff. He's actually got one cloudy eye. And his rolled up sleeves, as he's wiping down the bar, you can see almost just like a shadow of a tattoo of an anchor. And then on the other forearm is like a really crude looking naked woman. And he's kind of just there. Like I said, there's almost no one in there. So he's kind of lazily wiping down the bar. But upon looking at him, you can tell that his mind is far away, and those are the only occupants of the bar currently.
But I would recognize our Mark though.
Yeah, I mean he's the only guy there, and Walter would know too that like he's like the general proprietor of the place. So if he's the only one there, it just stands to reason that that's Myron.
Okay. All right. I will go up to the bar and I'll kind of look over the bottles. I will try to find what appears to be the most expensive drink in the place, which probably isn't saying much.
No.
And I'll order a drink. I'll pay and I'll tip modestly, and I'll just kind of sit there and I'll actually physically take small drinks. I do out of character, I do have the eat food merit anyway, so blush of life. This is I'm actually enjoying this.
I was about to say, like, you have the capacity to like actually enjoy the taste of this currently. And Myron, as you make this transaction, he doesn't really say anything. Like he just kind of like nods, and he gives you then a deeper sort of nod when you give him his tip, and then he's back to just like daydreaming or running this cloth just like up and down the bar.
All right. Well, so my associate here and we had a few questions for you, if you don't mind. I mean, it's obviously that you've got a spare moment for us, and just like some information, if you don't mind, sir.
And who are you?
Oh, well, I am G.L. Thornborough, and this here is my associate, who I will leave it up to her. However far down the rabbit hole she's willing to go as far as what you get to know.
And he looks at you. He gives you major side eye. He's like, and then he looks at Lillian.
She doesn't say anything. She just stands there and stares at him. And she's not sitting. That's for damn sure. She is not gonna sit.
Sure.
Sticky bar stools and all. No,
Yeah,
not gonna happen.
Sticky bar stools for sure.
She's just going to stand there and she's going to say, who I am doesn't really matter. What does matter is the fact that I have a considerable amount of coin that I'm willing to part with for information.
I mean, it's not like me to turn down coin now, but can I get someone's name at least?
You already got his name. Why do you need mine?
As you wish.
Fantastic.
And he waits expectantly.
And I'm going to put down a gold piece down.
Okay.
And be like, that is for the moment. Should your information prove valuable, more will follow. Do you understand?
Yeah. I've been around. And I see a lot.
I'm sure.
But I wonder, what exactly is it that you want to know?
What do you know about disappearances?
Disappearances of whom?
Doctors.
Nurses.
Doctors.
People of that sort.
Blimey. I mean, I don't suppose you know Dr. Williamson.
Well, yes, of course, but how does he...
Oh, Williamson.
Yes. How does he figure into all this?
Well, he's my mate. I mean, I known him since he was a kid, studying for his exams, and we got on real well here. Like, he would come in to study, and we'd shoot the breeze, and we'd talk about it, and he'd complain about the difficulty, and I'd tell him stories from his sailing days, and it's he's a good kid, and I'd hate to see something happen to him. But you know him, you met him then.
Right, and the thing is, we've got a vested interest in the disappearances of all the doctors and nurses and all the other medical staff, especially with the pandemic going on here with the flu. Something going on with all of these people going away. No, your mate that suggested that you knew something that might be of assistance to us. We're trying to get to the bottom of what's going on, and this is a very important work.
Right, and what do you mean exactly to do with this information?
I will at this point activate awe.
Okay. Let's see.
Wow.
Let's do a couple.
He said, "I'm tired of talking."
Let's see. Let me open up one thing here. If you'll give me just a moment. Okay, here we go. All right, so let's do some rolls here. If you could please roll your manipulation and presence rating, and then I will make a roll as well.
Okay.
All right. All right. Let's see here.
That is 2 successes.
He is not affected.
Well, now the thing is here, sir, that we've got a bit of a problem on our hands, and this would be where I would start to try to get his attention and start to woo him emotionally.
Okay. And I see that can I see that it's failing?
That's a good question.
Like I think Lillian, I think everyone might be able to feel it, but they might be able to feel it going on, but since he's not Rafe isn't necessarily directing his attention at them, they can't really feel the intended effect.
So what we will say is that because of Lillian's just experience and age, she can probably tell that there was some kind of misfire. But Walter, would you like to roll to notice?
Not there. I'm still outside.
Oh yeah, you're outside, duh. Tommy, would you actually based on your age and experience as well, you could probably also sense the misfire, but maybe not quite as acutely as Lillian does. So you both would sense that something didn't quite pop on like it should have.
It's just it's vital information that we figure out what the connection is, because this is happening, and look, my wife is in one of the hospitals she's actually in the hospital that Williamson works in. And
oh, blimey.
And like if anything that you could do to help us out would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, I mean, it's an awful shame what's happening. So I mean, I understand, and that honestly, I mean, like I said, Williamson's my mate, and I wanna help him in if I can, if it's within my ability to do so. So listen, now that I'm thinking about it, there was a disappearance of a doctor at London Hospital in the north, and by name of Dr. Ainsley. I mean, it was nothing's really too much reported on this side in this area of town. I mean, look around you. They don't really care. Even if you're a doctor, it's like they don't really care.
Obviously.
So I do remember though hearing about it at the time. It was September, I believe, when it happened, and again, he was just there was no information. It was just he had disappeared and he wasn't never seen again.
I do an insight check.
Yeah. So you okay? You want to? So yeah, go ahead and roll. What's an insight?
That's a nice roll too. Four, and two of them are criticals.
Okay. You can tell that he is definitely telling the truth. Like he's not trying. And because of your critical success, you can tell that he's not really leaving anything out. Like he doesn't know like any additional information more than what he's like continuing to share with you. Like he's giving you the full story as he knows it. Okay. So he continues, and he's wiping down the bar, and he kind of looks down. He's like, I mean, and this close to the Thames, they always finding bodies in the river, face down, bloated. Who knows how they might have died, but there have been a few more recently, actually, like very recently, like in the past even just month or two. Really weird, because it's like there wasn't any real like sign. I mean, you get the cops coming in and out here, and you get people talking in the pub all the time. I mean, I know ain't many people here now, but still sailors coming in, still work to be done at the docks. And when they come in, they like to tell their most ribald tales, which includes the nastier bits of the bodies in the river. But they told me, I heard some of them say that there weren't no slashes, there weren't no stabs, there weren't no gunshot wounds, there weren't no nothing. It just looked like they'd been dead, and that's usually they're a little bruised up, that they've been beat, they've been some other horrible thing. But so that's a bit different than usual. I mean, the gangs, it's tough. Like I said, ain't nobody cares what goes down here in East London. I mean, the lot of bodies, lot of places.
Out of curiosity, if you don't mind, these bodies that were discovered, it's an odd question, you'll have to forgive me, but I have a little bit of information regarding, autopsies and cremations and preparing bodies, but did these bodies...
He looks at you weird when you say that. He's like...
Pay attention, please, darling, for just a moment. Did they still have blood in their systems? Or are they dry?
I mean, I don't hear much about the official autopsies, as it were, but I mean, I do remember the dock workers saying that they did look even awful paler than usual. They look quite...
Oh, sorry to interrupt. You finish.
No, go ahead. No, I'm good.
Okay. Well, what hospitals in particular have these bodies been going to? Any idea?
I don't know. I mean, Wetterman's closest to here, so I imagine some went there. And then, also little clinics popping up everywhere to try and deal with the flu. So, couple places here and there, but yeah, Wetterman's like the main one that's near here.
I've got a handle on what's going on. If you don't mind, I'd like to take a moment, step outside, and consult with my colleagues. Yeah, don't go anywhere. Actually, one more drink, if you don't mind. Same thing.
Yeah. All right. So he pours you a glass of the same stuff that you had.
I'm gonna follow Rafe.
Just slams it down. Slams the shot glass down upside down. Be right back.
And he smiles a little bit at that.
I go outside. I once again hold the door open for Lillian. I give Tommy enough time to clear. And then once I'm sure Tommy's out, I close the door, and I just silently make my way around the corner into an alley so we can speak uninterrupted.
Okay.
Alright. And then, so once everyone's kind of gathered around, Tommy, if you want to stay hidden, that's fine.
I'll just whisper, I'm here.
Alright, so here's what's going on, and this would be where I blur all of the information to Walter that was relayed on to us.
Fair enough. Or rather, pale. Very much so. Paler than normal.
So, my working theory here is these bodies that are getting pulled out of the river And it's clear that they've probably been exsanguinated. And the doctors and staff that are working on these bodies are being disappeared to cover up the fact that they've been hiding, or that they've been working on exsanguinated bodies. Does that sound reasonable?
So you feel that these doctors are being targeted to cover the masquerade?
Basically, yes. So there's some sort of connection there. The fact that they're working on what's very obviously some sort of victim, or we'll say byproduct of something going on, and maybe these. It would make sense that with the flu going on, I'm sure that there's lots of information exchanging hands, and all of these spare bodies suddenly turning up when all of these doctors are going to be talking to each other more frequently. This rash of sudden appearances of exsanguinated bodies coming out of the waterways.
So I look at you, Lillian. So whoever you're
cutting out. No.
Protectors pressure on the group.
You cut out.
You cut out. Most
it.
of that cut out. I'm sorry.
Okay. Am I back now? Am I back?
You're good.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and repeat.
So I look at Lillian and I'm like, all of your Camarilla fellas where this masquerade is so important. It's only going to get more pressure if a bunch of doctors start getting targeted and beat up. We have to, it sounds stupid, but we have to stop throwing our trash away in the river, or at least find some other way to get a directive going from up top. Now, it's only one side of this equation. The other one is figuring out if there's any reason or causation between all these dead bodies and maybe the doctors, or we set up some sort of patsy like there is some sanguinating serial killer out there.
To
That's a lot.
protect the masquerade. I highly doubt that the tower would sanction or in any way cause disappearing doctors and nurses during a pandemic like this would only raise more alarms eventually. That's not protecting anything at all. Perhaps somebody else is cleaning up tracks. I would say, considering that our little creature friend from the other night was looking for a particular doctor, it is safe to say that doctor might have as well disappeared by the creature's hands, not ours, at that point.
So do we know these bodies, these sanguinated bodies, these bled out bodies, are the doctors we're looking for, or are these just things that the doctors are finding?
I don't think that they are necessarily the doctors that we're looking for, but perhaps maybe it is a cleanup. I didn't exactly get the impression that the bodies that were being pulled out were doctors, but more so that doctors were seeing the bodies and then disappearing. Is that what you got, Rafe, or did I mishear?
It could go either way, really. That's the thing. It could be either path. Both make sense working with what little information we've got to go on.
Well,
it'd be easy enough to verify. What was that hospital again that he just spoke about? We could check the hospital and see.
Well, I know a doctor at the hospital where Dr. Gray was targeted. If that body's still there, then we could even check the one we've got an in at.
That makes sense. That's as good as lead as any. It works for me.
Baby steps. Start at square one and work our way up.
this is a solid plan. Tommy, does this work for you?
Well, I do know of a morgue that's sitting in a hospital. We could always check the bodies to see if we have undrained or drained bodies sitting in there. That might give us a lean-to on which way that needle's gonna go.
Do we need to bring Dr. Williamson in this?
I don't think so.
Not yet.
No, the less he's involved, the better, at least for now. It protects him.
At the very least, until I can get another doctor to replace him.
I agree. I froze again. Damn.
If you don't mind, I've got to eventually take care of this before we get leaving. I had a little too much to drink, and I don't want to end up having to do it where it would be a little too inconvenient. So,
Oh, that does remind me. Rafe.
yes.
Remember our little chat earlier, and I told you to be careful where you expel that charm that you try to produce.
Yes, Mom.
It didn't work in there either. Which
Damn
is
it.
very interesting. Considering.
Damn it! God, I'm gonna have to. I don't know. There's something wrong.
I
Usually-
whisper in Rafe's ear, it happens to the best of us.
Damn it!
Storyteller, true or false?
Sure.
Mortals would fall prey to that unless they're ghouled, correct?
Yes, you're correct.
So, I'm very curious, which one of you, and if not one of you, then who has that one in there? Ghouled.
Yeah, because he's not kindred. You can tell just by looking at him. Ah ha ha. So let's let's go back in. I think maybe all four of us could maybe
Well, that's a non-starter until he tells me to come in.
Oh.
You have to be invited in?
Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell, we're not going to get very far with that shit.
That's why you're here. That's that bona fide I was talking about.
Wait, hold on a
Can
second.
I just tell you to come inside? Does it have
No,
to be
you
that
don't
way?
own this. Do you own this place? Go
I
buy this
could.
place. Go buy this place and invite me in.
Wait, no, hold on. This is a business.
So,
This is a
I own
business,
many
not a
businesses.
house.
I
This
could
is a-
very well.
This is a public business. This is a pub.
Is there a welcome mat out front?
I mean,
Yeah.
no. There isn't.
There's a welcome sign, I'm sure.
Is there an open sign anywhere?
Is a storyteller is there?
I truly never thought about that.
I assumed that not. This was all like public house type mentality.
Yeah, not really. I mean, no. There's
Valid.
no like sign that says open. I mean, there's like a banner at the top that says the Drunken Dancer. Like it really faded in an old looking sort of metal like kind of higher above the door. There's that, but that's the only thing.
I would like to propose that this is a business. It is clearly still open.
Pat, I
Sure.
hear you. But it's
I
Bloody
gotcha.
hell.
for me this way.
All right.
Yeah, hold on. I open the door. Hey, lad. Hello. Yeah. Could you invite my friend Walter inside, please? He's got like a thing. He's got a problem. He's got a phobia.
You can tell almost that there's like a glimmer of recognition when you say that, but he doesn't really. So you can like see this like slight beam on his face for a second, and then he's like, yeah, all right. Walter, come in, mate, come in and have a drink.
Did I notice any of the is he looking at me weird?
No,
Okay, I walk in.
he's not looking at you weird.
Okay.
No.
All right, so once again, holding the door open. Once I'm sure Tommy's through, I go in and I go up to the bar again. I think there's room for one or two more, maybe. This time I'm looking down and I'm trying to find the cheapest. There's probably more water in the bottle than there is liquor, but I'm gonna order a double.
Wow, you are playing with fire, my guy.
Mm-hmm.
So the bottle that you point to, it's on the bottom of the shelf. Like you said, it's massively diluted, and it almost has because it's like a dark liquor, but it almost has this imperceptible aura of like green. Like it seems just real yucky stuff. So he kind of, Myron sort of like chuckles to himself and he pours this like super cheap shit. And before he hands you the glass, he sort of like goes like this. He's like, "You sure, mate?
Oh,
This?
Yeah, of course.
It's absinthe.
All right, it's your money."
This is probably what they wring out of the bar rag at the end of the night.
Yeah, that probably makes sense. Yeah, so he gives it over to you and like looks halfway apologetic and he's just like, "Here you go," and kind of looks at you waiting for your like reaction to this.
Down the hatch.
Actually, can you please roll me a composure and resolve, please?
Composure and resolve, of course.
Yeah. Thank you.
He's gonna vomit all over this bar. It's gonna be great.
It needs to come out.
I'm saying you're pushing your luck.
I know.
I'm saying if I was a ghoul and I knew about this, I would have some sort of vampire Mickey behind the bar.
All right, composure and resolve, which is incidentally a willpower roll.
I believe if you
willpower roll.
If you're using an ability, I think if you're using awe on someone and it doesn't work, they know that you've used it or tried to use it. If I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken. Those may be like V20 rolls or some shit.
Let me reference this really quick.
Or it could be a completely different power.
1.
One?
Oh man.
Unfortunately, it was just a bridge too far for Rafe. Blush of life, and his age, his young kindred age, it was not enough to save him from quite this amount of really gnarly alcohol. So you will vomit, but you will be able to you're not gonna vomit in his face. Like you'll feel it, and then you'll just on the bar stools lose your lunch. And Myron goes, "Mate, I told you shouldn't have drank that. Even though, nobody that comes in here be drinking that."
But why do you got it behind the shelf?
It's hard times. It's hard to get it in here at all. I'm working with what I got.
No, well, all right. Anyways,
bloody hell! And he'll come around from outside the bar, and he'll sort of like shoo you away slightly, and he's gonna motion over to the woman that was sweeping, and he'll say, Priyanka, over here, love. I'm sorry, but I need your help, please. And she's like, she actually doesn't seem super fazed by that, and she just nods. She goes to the utility closet and gets like a mop and has some like nasty water in a bucket, and she'll sort of just like silently be like for Rafe to sort of move out of the way, and she'll just begin mopping it up. Myron seems more amused than like mad. He's kind of just like, whatever.
I look at Myron real quick for any type of like gang tattoos or any type of like affiliation that he may have permanently attached or is currently wearing.
I'm not gonna make you roll for this. You did notice the tattoos, which don't have not any gang association that you're aware of.
That I would have been aware of, yeah.
No, and then in terms of like his attire, it's really pretty spare. It's kind of just like an old collared shirt and suspenders and trousers. You actually, I'm gonna say let us have a roll indeed, and let's say give me just give me wits and investigation if you would, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Two.
Okay, cool. So with that success, you notice that on the inside of his wrist, it's very small, but you can tell that, again, it sort of looks shadowy, like almost like the tattoo didn't really take that well, but you can see it's a mouth, and it's got a bunch of jagged teeth in the mouth. And that looks, nothing comes to mind, but it's not like regular tattoo iconography of this time. Like it looks odd to you, but there's not necessarily an association that you make, but you do notice that is strange.
And specifically, it's many jagged teeth. It's not like 4 jagged teeth or 2 jagged teeth.
It's almost just like, it looks like, a very rudimentary like mouth, and then it's not a number of teeth. It's almost like one solid line of like one solid shape of teeth.
Okay.
So that is all
you. Sorry.
Go ahead.
You said that he moved away from the bar after the throwing up.
Yeah, he's still as Priyanka starts to mop up, he is kind of like getting with his towel, like maybe some that got a little bit like on the underside of the bar. So like, yeah, he's not behind the bar right at this moment.
I'm gonna quickly move behind the bar and look just to see if there's anything like a trapdoor or something that stands out to me that this is not in a pub.
Okay. I would like you then to also roll wits and investigation.
Okay.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4.
Goodness. No crits?
No crits.
Okay. So you will notice that not on the shelf of the bar, but on the like on the underside, like of the front of the bar, you will see kind of some way in the back, kind of in this recessed shelf, you will see small, a couple of vials of what you are pretty sure is blood. There. There's no like trap door or like secret like room entrance or like a mechanism. Like you don't see anything like that. Like it looks pretty much constructed like a regular bar. Like it hasn't been modified, but you do see the vials. Just not many, like maybe 2 or 3. And they're not labeled. They're just there.
Okay. As soon as I see everything, I'm gonna back my way out of the bar.
Okay, and you guys will have like a near miss.
Yeah, I'm I'm looking at him, looking around, looking at
like
him.
His hair might just as you sort of like move quickly past him, but he doesn't detect you. Yeah. Cool.
So,
so he is behind the bar.
Once he's behind the bar, after I've wiped my mouth, I've composed myself.
Sure.
All right, lad. Who do you work for then? Just curious.
I mean, you could say. I mean, I promise I ain't joking when I say this. I know it sounds like a joke, but it's not. His name's Bollocks.
Bollocks. All right. First name then, lad.
I mean, yeah, I just know him by Bollocks. That's all.
What does he look like?
I mean,
describe him.
I mean, and he starts to describe him. And suddenly, the door to the bar opens, and in walks a trio. And the guy who's clearly leading these two other guys, his face looks like it is melting off. Like his skin is like all the way sagging, wrinkled, not like an age thing, but some other, and it is like, it's scrotal. Like it's fully like hanging off of his face. His body looks pretty regular. He's probably slightly shorter than average. His body's nothing strikes you immediately, but his face is like really shocking. So there's like the exposed, like ashy gray, like it should be red if your eyes are sort of being pulled down, but it's this like ashy, dry looking situation. And with him are two other, not quite as strikingly hideous as him, but they also, one of them is missing part of their face and is wearing an iron prosthetic face filler, which were common at the time for war veterans. You would have seen that around by this time. And then the other guy is just like weirdly like bald, and like something's wrong with his skin, and it's just like it's red, it's scarred, it's and that his extends to like, you can see it in his rolled up sleeves, that his skin is just like, they're not like boils, it's not wet, it's more of a dry situation, but it's still, and you know, there might be a stray flake that comes off as he's walking in. And the guy at the front with the scrotal face, he goes, "Oi, Byron, my boy, I'm here for an update. It's me. I'm so happy to see you. So happy to see you, and I'm just so glad to be here. And I need to know what's going on right now, Myron." And he goes behind the bar and just like hugs this dude, and is like and Myron is sort of just like taking it. He's just like, he doesn't seem like psyched, but he's like, this is not his first time receiving this sort of grand affection. And the guy now behind the bar with Myron looks at obviously not Tommy is not in vision, but the three of you, he looks at you and he says, "Oh, Myron, who are these new friends, mate? Oh my goodness, I never thought, and I ain't never seen them. What in the bloody hell is going on here tonight, Myron? My boy, oh my gosh. What in the fuck? You can't letting anybody in here. Oh my goodness." And he just sort of like carouses, and Myron's just like shaking his head. And that is where we will end our session.
Oh my god, that's good, because Lillian was about to like lose her shit. Like, could you shut up?
But yeah,
yeah, say them like your intimidation is weak.
Daunt, activating Daunt right now.
Yeah,
right.
Started.
So yeah, that is where we will end this episode 2 of London's Bleeding. So we'll just go quickly around the horn here and just give some props to our players and where you can find them and what they're working on. So Ben, we'll start with you again.
I don't really have social media, but I will be on Martlet Games, and I'll be hanging out in the Discord more often, and I hope to talk to you later.
Sweet, thank you.
Hi, Patrick, the creative director here at Martlet Games. Things are in the works.
No.
We're in flux right now. That's all I'm gonna say. You can find me also at Vancouver Adjacent by Night. As of right now, I don't want to say when that's going to be, other than we're in Vancouver Adjacent by Night. Yeah.
But you can catch the previous season on YouTube.
Yes,
imagine.
that is correct, and
it's really good. I watched it all. It's really, really good. You should check it out. It stands alone. You can just pick it up. It's really, really good stuff. It's a really super fun time.
You don't need to know all of the main Vancouver by Night storyline, but it helps.
Right.
It helps.
Yeah, it does help.
But we're standalone. Probably I don't mean outside of Martlet, it's probably the most enjoyable thing I've ever done. Outside of Martlet, it's good. I have a blast every single fucking week.
Absolutely.
So that's it from me.
Yes, next up is gonna be me. I'm Samantha McLarty. I played the ever so very true Lillian Crawford, and I'm on social media as just S McLarty. And I will be in the Discord as much as possible as well. I am also on Vancouver Adjacent by Night with Pat, and I play a La Sombra there, and it has been a whole lot of fun. The only other thing that I've done a few one-shots on random places and Savannah by Night, but I'm not entirely sure exactly where those are. What channels those are on. But yeah, that's about it. I look forward to all the fun stuff that we're about to get ourselves into here.
And again, I'm Steven Rieger. I could be found on the socials at Darth Generico, as it sounds. As of right now, I have a bunch of irons in the fire going on right now with a couple one shots, couple ideas for some solo D&D runs, possibly working on my second Indie Anarchs, possibly working on a new idea for another game. But I can be found in the Discord as well, and I'll do my best to answer all of those malt questions that everybody wants to know. Like, how do you play one without being so batshit crazy?
Yeah, how to be a not fish malk. Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks again to the players. This is just a blast as my very first Chronicle. Thank you all for bearing with me as I get used to this role. My name is Sarah. I'm the storyteller. I was a player in Sioux City by Night and Indie Anarchs, which you can find on the Martlet Games YouTube channel. Both very, very fun, cool series. You get to see a lot of different sides of us. Obviously with Pat as the storyteller for Sioux City, and Steve is the storyteller for Indie Anarchs, so you can kind of see us all in our groove in that role, so that's fun. I'm also not too much on the social medias, as it were. But yeah, you can feel free to contact me on Twitch or whatever you want if you feel feel so inclined. So take care of yourself and the ones you love. Thank you again for being here, and we will see you for episode 3 of London's Bleeding next time. Can't wait. Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.
See ya.